opening, reincarnation, and your present life. What if? Who you are isn't just shaped by your childhood, your genetics, or even the choices you've made recently, or right now. What if your deepest fears, your wildest passions, the gifts you were born with, even the people you love most, are actually echoes, fragments continued from a life you no longer remember? In Buddhist philosophy, this isn't poetic fantasy or mystical talk. It's a profound truth. Life isn't a straight road from birth to death. It's a sacred circle, an endless cycle of birth, death, and rebirth. The Buddha called it samsara, the wheel of life. And within that wheel, every thought, every intention, every tiny action leaves behind a subtle imprint on your consciousness. That's what we call karma. Karma is not punishment or reward. It's more like ripples on a lake. You drop a stone and the waves ripple outward, sometimes into this life, sometimes far into the next. Have you ever met someone and felt like you've known them forever? Or carried a fear that seemed to come from nowhere? According to Buddhist teachings, those things are not random. And if we can pause, even just for a moment, to observe, to listen, we may discover something truly valuable. That understanding our past isn't about nostalgia. It's about choice. The choice to live more mindfully, more compassionately, and more joyfully. Right here, in this life, and the ones yet to come. And sometimes, one realization, just one, can change the entire direction of your life. Let's begin. Part 1. Karma and the hidden marks of past lives. Have you ever felt a deep fear you couldn't explain? Or a sudden connection to a place, a culture, or a spiritual tradition you've never encountered before? What if those feelings weren't random, but remembered? According to Buddhist philosophy, our deepest wounds and our greatest gifts may be carried from lifetime to lifetime. These impressions, known as karma, aren't just stories written in your DNA. They are subtle imprints stored deep in your alaya consciousness, a vast, hidden layer of the mind that travels with us from one incarnation to the next. This is why someone may be born with an extraordinary talent, or carry unexplained trauma without any event in this life to explain it. A child who trembles at the sight of fire, a teenager who weeps when hearing ancient chants in a foreign language. These are not coincidences. They're echoes. And by uncovering these karmic threads, we don't just learn where we've been. We begin to understand who we are and what still longs to be healed. Part 2. How old karma shows up in your life today. Have you ever wondered why the same painful patterns keep repeating in your life? You heal, then end up in another toxic relationship. You try again, but loneliness keeps returning. No matter how much you grow, some emotions refuse to leave. Why? In Buddhism, these cycles aren't bad luck. They're karmic echoes. Energies left unresolved in past lives now resurfacing as opportunities for growth. Maybe you were abandoned once, and now you push people away before they get too close. Or maybe you broke someone's trust, and now find yourself surrounded by people who don't trust you. These aren't punishments, they're sacred invitations to evolve. We often think healing is about forgetting, but true healing begins with remembering. Not the details, but the deeper lessons. Every emotion that returns, every repeated struggle, is karma trying to complete a lesson your soul once left unfinished. And once we see that, we can stop asking why me, and start asking, what is this here to teach me? Part 3. The gifts you didn't learn. You remembered. Some people are born with wisdom far beyond their years. A child plays the piano like a master without a single lesson. A teenager leads with strength and empathy no one ever taught. A woman finds herself drawn to meditation, sacred texts, and temple life as if she's simply remembering. In Buddhism, These are not miracles. They are vasanas, karmic tendencies built through lifetimes of repetition. You weren't born from zero. You arrived already carrying the momentum of the soul. Maybe you were a monk in many lives, and silence now feels like home. Maybe you were a warrior, and your strength and fire are simply echoes of lifetimes spent protecting others. These gifts, when used with awareness, can become the tools of your awakening. But they must be honored, not idolized. We're not here to become the person we once were. We're here to transform that energy into something wiser, kinder, freer. Because your talents are not just yours. They are the seeds of your purpose, waiting to bloom again. Part 4. The two energies we carry. The hermit and the warrior. Have you ever felt most at peace when you're alone? Not out of loneliness, but a deep sense that solitude is your natural home? Or perhaps the opposite, you feel drawn to protect others, to act, to lead. There's a fire in your heart that won't stay still. In Buddhism, both are karmic imprints. Some souls carry the energy of the hermit, those who spent lifetimes in monasteries, caves, temples. They lived in silence, seeking truth and stillness. In this life, they may avoid social noise, crave long walks in nature, or feel deeply connected to the sacred without needing words. But there's a shadow to this path. If unbalanced, solitude can become avoidance, a fear of being seen, of engaging with life. Others carry the energy of the warrior, souls shaped by lifetimes of battles, discipline, and duty. They may be drawn to martial arts, strategy, activism, or leadership. There's strength in them, but also sometimes anger, restlessness. A tendency to fight when listening would heal more. But when the warrior awakens, when they turn that fire into compassionate action, they become protectors, not of egos, but of dharma. Think of Vajrapani, the wrathful bodhisattva, fierce, but guided by wisdom and love. The truth is, we all carry both energies, the quiet seeker and the passionate guardian. The lesson is not to choose one, but to recognize, balance, and evolve them. You don't need to reject your past energies, but you must learn how to carry them with awareness, so they serve healing, not harm. Part 5. When spiritual longing feels familiar. Have you ever felt a strange longing for temple bells you've never heard? Or a natural pull toward meditation, mantras, or sacred rituals you've never studied? This inner familiarity is more than coincidence. In Buddhism, it may reflect a karmic memory, a soul that once walked the monastic path, now awakening again. Some people feel this from a young age. They're fascinated by spiritual texts, drawn to silence, or feel out of place in a world chasing material success. It's not that they're better. It's that their soul remembers something older, something deeper. But there's a danger here. Sometimes this longing can become a kind of escape, a way to hide from responsibility or to cling to an identity of being spiritually special. Others may romanticize monkhood, rejecting modern life as unworthy. The true path is not to run from the world, but to bring your past wisdom into it. If your soul remembers prayer, bring that depth into how you parent, lead, create. Let it humble you, not isolate you. Let it root you, not remove you. Remember, you are not here to repeat a past life. You are here to live this one more fully than ever. Part 6. Spiritual wounds and karmic healing. Many spiritually sensitive people walk through life quietly wounded. They sense things others don't. They speak truth and are met with resistance. They have visions, deep intuition, yet feel afraid to share. Why? Because somewhere deep down, they carry a fear. If I show who I really am, I'll be judged, or worse. In Buddhist understanding, this fear may come not from this life, but from another. Perhaps you were once a healer condemned as a witch, a monk punished for speaking out, a seer called mad in a time that wasn't ready for your light. These aren't just stories. They're karmic imprints that still echo today. So what do? First, we stop hiding, but not recklessly. We heal, gently, wisely. Not everyone will understand you. Not everyone needs to. But someone out there, someone might be waiting for the light you've been hiding. Don't suppress your gifts. Don't let old wounds define new beginnings. Let compassion be your protection. Let discernment be your voice. And let your soul finally be seen, not as strange, but as sacred. Part 7. The karma of feeling stuck. Have you ever felt like life is just passing you by? Like no matter how much time moves forward, something inside you stays still. Uninspired, uncertain, lost? This feeling may not be laziness or weakness. In Buddhism, it's often a sign of karmic inertia, the residue of lifetimes spent in survival mode. Maybe you once lived as a servant, a slave, someone without freedom or choice. Over time, the soul learns to endure, but forgets how to dream. That pattern can carry into this life. You wake up, go through the motions, but feel like you're waiting for something, without knowing what it is. The good news? Karma can shift, but not by waiting. It begins the moment you choose to plant a new seed, a different thought, a conscious action. It doesn't have to be grand. A heartfelt conversation, a new habit, a small step toward change. Every act of courage, no matter how small, is a crack in the wall of karmic stagnation. And through that crack, the light of transformation enters. You are not stuck. You are being called to move, to grow, to remember your power, to begin again. Part 8. Recognizing the patterns of your karma. Do you ever feel like life is repeating itself? Same types of relationships, same emotional loops, same inner stories, over and over again. In Buddhist wisdom, these repetitions are not meaningless, they are clues. Karmic patterns that reveal where healing is needed. So how do we see them clearly? Through mindfulness, through the gentle lens of compassion. Start paying attention, not just to what happens outside you, but to what returns inside you. The emotions that visit often, the roles you play again and again, the fears that wear different masks but feel strangely familiar. Ask yourself, what do I keep attracting? What do I keep avoiding? What is life trying to show me? These are not failures. They're invitations. Life doesn't punish. It reflects. And when we recognize the pattern with kindness, not judgment, we begin to change it. You are not doomed to repeat your past, but you do need to notice it if you want to transform it. Part 9. Tools for accessing past life. Insight. You don't need to remember exact past lives to heal your karma. You only need to open the right doors, quietly, mindfully, with humility. Meditation is one such door. In deep stillness, memories or emotions from another life may rise, not as stories, but as sensations. Let them come. Let them go. Dreams can also speak. Keep a journal. Notice what repeats. Symbols, places, feelings. They may not make logical sense, but your soul speaks in symbols, not sentences. Chanting mantras is another path. Sacred sounds carry vibration. They awaken memory beyond the mind and bring peace to parts of you that have waited lifetimes to be heard. And most importantly, live mindfully. Watch your cravings, your reactions, your fears. Karma doesn't only live in the past. It reveals itself in how you respond right now. But here's the key. Don't chase the past. Don't cling to mystical identities. You are not your stories. You are the awareness watching them unfold. And that awareness, that presence, is the true beginning of freedom. Part 10. Karmic relationships. The hidden lessons behind every connection. Have you ever met someone and felt an instant connection, as if your souls already knew each other? Or maybe the opposite. Someone walked into your life and triggered pain so intense, it didn't make sense for the short time you'd known them. According to Buddhist teachings, relationships aren't random. They are karmic contracts, unfinished stories from other lifetimes now returning for resolution, growth, or release. Some of these are what we call predestined relationships. A soulmate, an old enemy, a lost lover. They come back, not always to stay, but to complete a lesson. The connection feels magnetic, unforgettable, sometimes beautiful, and sometimes painful, but always purposeful. Then, there are repetitive patterns, so you keep attracting the same kind of partner, the same fights, the same endings. That's not bad luck. It's karma knocking again, a lesson left unlearned, a cycle waiting to be broken. And sometimes, if we're lucky, we meet a spiritual companion. These people may not come with drama or intensity, but with peace. They show up at just the right moment, offering clarity, guidance, support. A friend, a mentor, a stranger who feels like home. They are not here to teach through pain. They are here to remind you of who you are. Whatever the form, every relationship in your life is a spiritual mirror. Some reflect your wounds, some reflect your gifts, and some reflect your next step toward awakening. Ask yourself, what is this person here to show me? When we stop clinging to the idea of permanence and start seeing relationships as sacred classrooms, we stop blaming others and begin healing ourselves. The Part 11. Family Karma. The Sacred Soul. Contracts we're born into. Why were you born into your particular family? It may feel accidental, or even unfair. But in Buddhist thought, family is not a coincidence. It's a karmic gathering, a soul group sharing deep energetic threads. Your parents, siblings, even children may have once played different roles in previous lives. The mother who now shelters you may have once been your child. The brother you fight with may have been a rival or close ally in another lifetime. These relationships carry both love and lessons. Sometimes they come with joy, but often they come with challenge, because that's where the most growth happens. If your family feels heavy, distant, or even hurtful, know this: you didn't choose them to suffer. You chose them to awaken. Understanding your family as part of your karmic journey doesn't excuse their behavior, but it does free you from feeling like a victim. It gives you the power to choose compassion, boundaries, or even forgiveness, not just for them, but for yourself. Part 12. The danger of obsessing over past lives. Discovering your past lives can be illuminating, but it can also become a trap. Some people become fixated on who they once were. I was a healer, a monk, a queen. They identify so strongly with those past roles that they lose touch with their present self. In Buddhism, this is a subtle danger, because ego can wear spiritual clothing. The moment we cling to an identity, even a sacred one, we stop growing. The truth is, you are not who you were. You are who you are becoming, right now. Past lives hold wisdom, yes, but they are not your destination. They are your soil. What matters is not the title you once held, but the awareness you bring into this moment. Are you kinder than you were? More present? More awake? That's what matters. So if you've had glimpses of your past, honor them, but don't chase them. Don't build your worth on ancient stories. Build it on the quality of your presence now, because this moment is where karma shifts. And this life is the one you get to live. Part 13. Healing karma through compassionate presence. No karmic relationship is beyond healing. But healing doesn't come from changing the other person. It comes from transforming the space within you. In Buddhism, two of the most powerful tools for karmic transformation are mindfulness and compassion. Together, they create a quiet strength, a way of being that sees clearly without judgment and responds gently without fear. One method is metta meditation, the practice of sending loving kindness. Sit quietly and silently. Wish well to yourself, to someone you love, and, when ready, even to those who hurt you. May you be well. May you be free. Not to excuse the pain, but to free your own heart from the weight of resentment. You can also cut old vows through guided visualization. In meditation, imagine past life promises, like, "I will never leave you," or "I will protect you forever," and gently release them. Say, "That vow no longer serves our evolution. I now release you with love." Forgiveness rituals, both silent and spoken, also hold power. You don't need an apology to heal. Sometimes your own peace matters more than their regret. Above all, live selflessly, not self-sacrificingly. Being kind doesn't mean losing yourself. It means standing rooted in compassion, even if that means letting someone go. The karma you carry is not your prison. It's your path. And when you walk it with awareness and love, every step becomes a release. Part 14. Awakening and the end of the cycle. What if the point of this entire karmic journey wasn't to uncover who you were, but to realize that you are not who you think you are? True awakening in Buddhism isn't about solving past life puzzles. It's about stepping off the wheel entirely, ending the cycle of birth and rebirth known as samsara. And the key to stepping off that wheel lies in one radical truth: anatta, non-self. We are not fixed identities moving from life to life. We are not the stories we tell, not our roles, not our emotions, not even our karmic debts. What continues is not a you, but a stream of consciousness shaped by causes and conditions, always changing, always flowing. When we see this deeply, a shift happens. We stop clinging to who we were. We stop grasping at control. We begin to live in presence, not trapped by the past or obsessed with the future. Freedom doesn't come when everything is resolved. Freedom comes when we stop needing resolution. This is the awakening the Buddha pointed to. Not a higher version of the self, but freedom from the self. And in that freedom is peace that nothing can shake. Part 15. Love without attachment. A higher form of devotion. What does it mean to love someone and not need them to stay? In most stories, love is possession. You're mine. Don't leave. But in Buddhist wisdom, true love is freedom. It says, "I see your path, and I honor it, even if it leads away from me." The deepest love doesn't cling. It liberates. This is the love of a bodhisattva, an awakened being who returns again and again. Not because they must, but because they care. They don't come back to bind or claim. They come back to serve. Have you ever felt a pull to someone, not out of need, but out of soul-level care? That's sacred love. And yet, loving without attachment is not cold. It's warm, fierce, but free. It means saying, "I love you, and I don't need to control your path. I see your soul, and I don't need to own your time." To love in this way requires deep inner wholeness, a heart that is full, not desperate, a self that gives, not to fill a void, but to overflow. When we stop making others responsible for our happiness, love becomes what it was always meant to be, a doorway to awakening. Part 16. The karma of letting go, releasing, without losing. Love. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting. It means remembering, without pain. It means looking back without bleeding, speaking their name without shaking, loving without needing. And that, in itself, is a quiet revolution of the soul. In Buddhism, letting go isn't weakness. It's a form of inner wisdom, knowing when to release what no longer nourishes your growth. It's not the closing of a heart, but the soft opening of one that's ready to heal. Have you ever thanked someone who broke you? Not sarcastically, but with peace. Thank you, Aith. Because through that wound, I found my strength. Or forgiven someone who never said sorry. Not because they asked, but because your freedom meant more than their regret. This is the karma of letting go. You see, every time you choose peace over pride, compassion over blame, presence over the past, you dissolve old karmic threads. Not by force, but by gentleness. Letting go isn't giving up. It's showing up for yourself. You don't erase the story. You rewrite the relationship to the story. You say, yes, it happened. And now, I am free. You carry the memory, but not the weight. You keep the lesson, but not the wound. And slowly, breath by breath, the pain that once bound you becomes the wisdom that sets you free. Part 17. Rewriting your karma. Becoming the light for others. What if every small act of kindness you offer today, every gentle word, every patient breath, every honest apology, becomes a seed? A karmic seed that will bloom, not only in your own life, but in lives you haven't even met yet. In Buddhism, karma isn't just about consequence. It's about creation. It's the understanding that our lives are not accidents, but stories we are constantly co-authoring through intention and awareness. So ask yourself, what kind of story are you writing? Maybe you've inherited pain, patterns, even trauma from lives long past. But that doesn't mean you're doomed to repeat them. You are not a victim of karma. You are the author of it. Every time you choose forgiveness instead of revenge, patience instead of reaction, compassion instead of control, you shift the script. You plant new seeds. And from those seeds, a new chapter begins. Maybe your smile today becomes the reason someone chooses not to give up. Maybe the way you listen becomes a healing someone never expected. Maybe your simple kindness becomes a lighthouse in someone's storm. We don't always see the ripple, but it moves. You have that power. Right now, to rewrite your karma, to turn your pain into purpose, and to become, for someone else, the light you once needed. That's how karmic chains are broken, not through force, but through love. Final part, who you truly are, beyond all lifetimes. So, who are you? Are you your childhood wounds? Your karmic patterns? Your past life stories? Number, you are none of those things. You are not your memories, not your trauma, not even your karma. You are the awareness behind them. The still, silent witness beneath all the noise of becoming. And every moment you return to the present with clarity, with kindness, with breath. You step off the wheel of samsara, just a little bit more. This is the secret of freedom. Not in changing your story, but in waking up from it. Not in waiting for another life, but in realizing this moment, right here, right now, is enough. You don't have to fix everything before you feel peace. You don't have to earn your way out of karma. Because freedom isn't somewhere far ahead. It's not in another incarnation. It's not in a future version of you. Freedom begins the moment you stop clinging to identity, to blame, to fear. Each breath of mindfulness is a soft revolution, reminding you, you were never just a character in the story. You were the sky behind it all. So don't chase enlightenment like it's somewhere you have to reach. Just notice. Just be here. Just breathe. And the home you've been searching for has always been inside you. Let this be your beginning. Not of becoming, but of simply being. If something in this video stirred a feeling inside you, a memory, a quiet ache, or simply a moment of stillness deep within, please take a minute to pause and share your reflection in the comments below. Is there something you've lived through that you now see with new eyes? Is there a karmic pattern you're in the process of understanding or transforming? Perhaps your story will be the light someone else has been searching for in their own silent journey. Every word you share isn't just a step toward your own healing. It's also a seed of compassion, planted gently in the heart of another. And if there's a question lingering in your heart, about karma, about reincarnation, or simply how to live more mindfully and gently, leave it in the comments. I'll be here walking alongside you, offering what I can from the teachings and a place of honest compassion. Don't forget to subscribe if this space feels like a refuge for your soul. This journey has only just begun, and perhaps across countless lifetimes, past and still to come, we were meant to meet again, right here.